as a student who is about the same age as some of these people who might be affected by this decision, what was your reaction to the decision to end the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Act, or DACA?
So my reaction to DACA, I was kind of shocked more than anything. I knew that President Trump had this different image of what an undocumented immigrant, what our character is, or what it means to be Latino, or what the heritage of Latino and Hispanic students are, which is why he had started his campaign with, we're going to deport this many people. But he initially, when asked about the DACA policy, he seemed like he was like, okay, I'm gonna go for it with my heart. I'm gonna treat it with compassion, and just a big slap in the face to immediately not even addressing what's next, but just responding. His whole administration, okay, we're gonna leave it to Congress. They have 6 months. They're gonna figure it out. That's asking a student, or that's asking just a person in general to, hey, you have 6 months where your whole life could be shattered. Everything you've worked for, your life, the only life you know, can be taken away within a second, but calm down. We'll take care of it. When, with Obama's administration, he did the same thing. He asked Congress to figure something out because the Dreamers who wanted amnesty is like a huge following for him. They were pushing and pushing and pushing where the government needed to respond. And Congress was given the same time and option to make something up, and they didn't, which is why the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals became enactive with Obama administration as a response to the high demand. So the suspension of this it's not about politics anymore. It's not about who you which party you identify. You're conservative, you're liberal, you're a socialist. At this point, it's how do you want to be remembered as a country? You're not. This isn't about talking about people coming over here and immigrating here because they want to take your jobs and take your money. It's past that. These first of all, for a person to qualify for DACA, they need to show mountains of paperwork. They need to show that where they've lived, if they have any criminal history, grades, transcripts. They need to show evidence for each year that they've been here and how they've actually contributed to society. Most of these students aren't now graduated from college because of DACA, that they're teachers, they're in med school, they're students that go to Longwood, actually. The fact that they're being seen as a burden on the country, that something needs to happen because they're part of a flawed immigration system. Criminalize the system. Don't criminalize the kids that had no fault of being here, because that's what DACA is. It's affecting kids that were brought here under the age of 16 through no fault of their own, other than they were born on another side of a line that was drawn on a map. So we're supposed to be searching for the American dream, but I guess it's not allowed for a lot of us.
And what do you feel are risks that these people might face if they are deported back to their own country?
So the risk I'm pretty sure most are facing is, one, it's danger. Right now, obviously media likes to cover the big part of okay, well, there's different gang wars, drug wars in specific parts of South and Central America, but that's not really the big thing. Of course, it is for Venezuela. People who are Venezuela who came here, they're in an epic economic crisis. What are they supposed to go back to? People there can't even find food. People are they're trading female products to get, I don't know, a loaf of bread because they won't get it. There's no food, and not even that. It's just put yourself in their shoes as an American. You were told you need to go back to a place you don't know what you're going from. You have nothing there. No degree, no education, no chances of a future, not even a home. So it's kind of asking someone to just leave. It's not even facing I don't even think I can put in words what fear it is. And I think the worst thing that students now, as a college student, are facing is the uncertainty of what's going to happen, because there's really no answers being brought up from the administration. Okay, well, there's 6 months. How do I plan for those 6 months? I have kids here now. What's going to happen? So it's not just what they're going to face when they get there. It's what they're scared of losing when they're told to leave.
during Attorney General Jeff Sessions' announcement to end the program on Tuesday, he said that we are a people of compassion and we are a people of law, but there is nothing compassionate about the failure to enforce immigration laws. And then he went on to further say that the compassionate thing is to end the lawlessness. What are your thoughts on that comment? I mean, do you feel like this is the compassionate thing to do?
Jeff Sessions said a lot of things that I don't agree with. One of which he called the undocumented immigrants illegals, which is a false narrative in itself. But you asked me about the compassionate side of this decision. I don't think there's compassion on this side at all. They're targeting the wrong policy. They're targeting the wrong people. It's like, okay, yes, I understand the whole idea of fix the immigration system, because I agree it's flawed. It's broken. The immigration system is broken. No one's going to argue that on whichever side of the party. But you're attacking not even border security, not even the filled detention centers, with most of them are filled with teenagers who took a wrong step. But you're targeting kids who have no criminal history, who are in school. The DACA gives a working permit and a student permit visa. That's who you're going to target with compassion. And what's compassionate about it? Leaving their fate to, Congress that has failed before on giving them a decision. There's no compassion in that. I remember the first protest I went to with the Dreamers, 2011. They had a huge following, and I was young. I was about 11 years old, and they sat in front of the White House with my parents. And I looked through the crowds, tried to see if I could get a glimpse of them, because they had on these big, bright shirts. And there was an announcement saying, if you guys don't evacuate, then you will be arrested. And then they said, no, we're not leaving. They sat down. And as soon as they sat down, I could see them. And they didn't pass 20, if that. And the fact that some of them even looked my age, they were only asking, let me continue living in the country, the only place that I can call home. That's it. They weren't even asking for a handout. They were saying, let me go to school. Let me work and actually get minimum wage, if that. These aren't the people that you should be attacking. And compassionate, what's compassionate about attacking those people? You should be wanting people that want to work hard, go to school, educate themselves, try to be part of this great nation. You should be wanting that here. But no. The whole reason that this administration is compassionate about it is because we look different. When you think Latino, when you think illegal or immigrant, who do you think of? You don't think of someone with blue hair, blue eyes and blonde hair. You think of someone that looks like me. And that's the most false narrative ever. Because you could look at someone from Argentina that's blonde, fair skin, and you could look at someone from Haiti, dark skin, beautiful curly hair. Because that's what the Latinos are. It's what Hispanic and Latinos are. It's a mix. The identity is something so deep in our culture, so rooted into us, and it's something that we carry with us wherever we go. And that doesn't take away of us calling ourselves American. If anything, I feel like that's what makes us more American. But how do we even defend ourselves? Like the people from DACA, which I have my family relatives and some of my best friends that I grew up with, that were able to stay here and do it. Like, it's ridiculous. I'm fully for the focusing on immigration policy alone. And if this administration wants to fix that and wants immigration reform, go for it. You will have my full support. Multiple people will get in line for that. If there are criminals that are here undocumented and the whole time they've stayed here, have caused crimes, then okay, yes, that makes sense. Then send them back. Have their due process. But you're attacking a policy that has nowhere near that statute of. There shouldn't even be criticized for that. So I don't think there's any compassion in anything he said. And I feel maybe he should sit down and talk to someone that's actually been in the DACA program.
So Congress has a 6-month period before this program is officially ended to either offer legislative solutions or a better alternative with President Trump has, in the past few days, actually been on Twitter calling for Congress to act and legalize DACA. Do you feel that Congress will legalize DACA or offer a better alternative?
So what do I think Congress will do? God, I hope that they actually, bring something. If they bring a better program, do it. If they keep DACA, please. If they think about amnesty, more power. Like, I honestly really hope and am praying that they come up with a solution. There's 800,000 students and people that right now are benefiting from DACA. 800,000. That's crazy. I have all the faith. Actually, no, I don't. I honestly really hope. Like I said, that they've had this option to do this before and they haven't. And the fact that the president is leaning so hardly on Congress and on his tweets about it, he's not taking responsibility. This was his decision. It wasn't Congress's decision. He decided to do this. His administration decided to do this with so much lack of knowledge. But at this point, like I mentioned, the uncertainty that's going on now. I think the best we can do is just hope for the best.
So, turning now to like a local level, with your involvement in various organizations here on campus, do you know of any support that is being offered by minority organizations to these students here on campus that can and might be affected by this decision?
Okay. So on campus, as soon as we got news of the suspension of DACA, organizations such as Hispanic Latino Association, Black Student Association, College Democrats, College Republicans, all came together. And including with the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, we set up a meeting and how we're going to go about this. At the beginning, this was always a topic. This conversation started about DACA about a few weeks ago. We didn't think it was going to happen, but HLA decided that we were going to start a petition. Send it to our representatives, maybe make a little bit of waves. But when hit with this, we started talking to other students that aren't as involved with the diversity community on campus, and immediately we get the question, what's DACA? What does that mean? Who is it affecting? Why should I care? And then we realized as organization leaders that this campus doesn't know what DACA is. It's not something that's in most of the students' mind. Something they need to worry about. So we're tackling that first. We've decided that we're going to put on programs, one each week, and it's also Hispanic Heritage Month is coming up. So we're going to take advantage of that and educate. You can't have a conversation unless people know what they're talking about. So we're going to bring up stats. We've talked to the political organizations on campus, so College Democrats, College Republicans, Longwood for Liberty, Politics Club, and they're all on board. They want to have that conversation with students. We want to take it out of it being about which party is against what party, what's the demographic. We're trying to take it into demonstrating in a way where this could be someone in your class, and for some it is. We have a population of DACA students here. We want to remove that idea and make it a person-to-person conversation. So each week we're gonna be dedicated to a program that's going to happen. So far, yesterday there was a program about Charlottesville that was put together by faculty and students. We were able to pass around a fact sheet about what DACA is, and then after that, we're planning on putting yard signs through Brock Commons about numbers, specifically who's affecting, how many of these students are in college, how many people are in grad school, med school, etc., and which percentage of them graduates from high school, what are the ages, just trying to humanize it, try to humanize that 800,000, because if you touch people at the heart, then sometimes they listen a little clearer, instead of going at, well, why do you agree with this? That's not my president. Instead of having that negativity, trying to attack it in a way there's built of conversation. And with that, maybe people will be more active in signing petitions, calling the representatives once they know what it means and who's it affecting. So that's how we want to take a standstill form of education with organizations on campus.
And so what can you say to a regular student here on campus that's not involved in these organizations? How can they help and support these people affected by this decision?
So to students that aren't like directly affected by DACA, but want to get involved, thank you, first of all. And the way you can get involved is come to meetings. If you see us on campus, which you're going to, come talk to us, have that conversation, sign a petition, call your representative, do your own personal research. It's all over the news now because of what happened. So read about it, educate yourself. I know a lot of people are not so pretty sensitive about which media outlet they want to trust, but we're here, we have facts, we're going to be handing them out all, like throughout the whole, a few weeks now. So if you want to get involved, just ask questions. There's a lot of organizations that are willing. We're going to have a undocumented student ally training, so there's going to be a lot more students that are going to be ready to answer those questions and know what it means, and I guess you just talk about it, and that's the best way I can think about to get involved.
Okay. And so, just one final question. If you could say anything to these students here on campus that are affected by this decision, you could speak with them directly, what would you say?
Okay. I would say if you're not alone, you have support, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have to go through this. It's not fair. I wish there's more I could do. I wish there was more I could say. But you have people backing you. If anything, at Longwood, I have seen more people willing to stand up for something that they know isn't right, and more willing to learn about it, take someone's hand. President Reevely made a statement, which was huge. We just recently, last semester, put together a diversity act in our student handbook. So there are steps being taken for support. And for students affected by that on Longwood campus, don't be afraid to reach out. There's always someone willing to talk. There's many different resources. Just be strong, stay positive,